so much he couldn't even carry his own shield. He had another man who went before him with his shield. It was so big. You see, you got to understand what David was going up to understand how faith worked. And he stood and cried unto the armies of Israel and said unto them, why are you all so tired of fighting? Are you so tired of fighting? That's why these guys nowadays, who stay 200 feet and shoot you with an M16, 200 yards, they're cowards. Real man would fight like this. Let most of them have to go fight like this and see how many of them would be shooting gun. Right? That's coward. These were real warriors, huh? And he stood up in the valley. And he would walk back and forth, the scripture say, every day, taunting the armies of Israel. Remember, faith is not saying you have faith in this chair, and when I say prove it, you sit down. That's not faith. That's not faith. People sit down in the chair every day. To the point where if you sit down in it and it breaks down, they say it's an accident. You know why it's an accident? Because you're not supposed to break down. That's not faith. Lord, my faith bears me up, and my faith bring me in here this morning. I know faith, a minibus you come back. You see when you come off faith, they have accidents though, right? Oh, I really have to have strong faith to fly in a plane. That's not faith. Thousands of people flying planes all day. Technology. That's not faith. We use the word faith very lightly. The Bible says faith, the only person you can have faith in is God. As long as you can believe in a man, that's not faith. You got to have faith in someone who is able in all situation and circumstance. Yes? Yes? When the doctor has diagnosed you and sent you home and said there is nothing else we can do, and you look in that doctor's face and you said, so you said, may I invite you to my house to cook you Christmas dinner. That is faith. Hello? That is faith. Okay? When you look to a mountain and you said, you're a mountain of problems in my life. I don't know the next where to turn. I don't have nothing. I get laid off of work. My husband gone. My wife gone. My children, I can't see my way. But God, you will provide. And guess what? I'm not sell my body. I'm not eat for it. That is faith. And here you ever have to demonstrate that kind of faith? You only know the truest test that you're showing faith? People laugh after you. Unless you're doing something that people will laugh after you, you're not showing faith. There are a lot of things I will tell people now. And they don't laugh because they kind of feel safe will happen. Are you with me? So I'm just walking within the normal strength that the Lord has given me. But anytime you step out of it, you have the demonstrating faith. And I think this is a clear case of it. And that's why I'm reading this to you, to show you what he faced. In verse 11 it says, when Saul and all Israel heard those words of the Philistines, they were dismayed and greatly afraid. A whole army, not just army, armies. The king was afraid. They stayed inside their camp. They wouldn't venture out. Verse 12, now David was the son of Jesse, who had 8 sons. And 3 of the eldest sons of Jesse were with Saul in the battle. And verse 14 says, and David was the youngest. And the 3 eldest were in the armies of Saul. And it said in verse 17 that Jesse called his son David and said, take some food for your brethren, these 10 loaves, and go to the camp where your brothers are and bring them their food. And verse 20 says, and David rose up early in the morning and left the sheep with a keeper. He was just a little shepherd boy. And he went as his father Jesse had commanded him. And he said in verse 22 that when David arrived, he left his little carriage. Apparently he was a boy of some privilege. Can you imagine? He didn't have to ride the camel the whole way. I've often wondered how they used to ride camel, given where the hump in their back is. Must be a very difficult thing to ride, don't it? I imagine after a journey you have all kind of, what they call those things you get? Pile and things. Now you all sit back in a luxury. Right? And he left his carriage in the hand of the keeper and ran into the army and came in and saluted his brother. You can just see him come to the gate of the camp and left his little thing, you know, and take up his little sack with his little food and run, come into the back way of the camp.